Academy of Art Urban Nights Update is next. Coming up, a breakdown of some dieting trends and their possible benefits.
With the craze of drones rising, we take a look at some safety tips.
Another season of voting has come and gone, and our very own Roundtable discusses the importance of voting and the effect for today's generation.
The holidays are around the corner, which means a fun sneak peek of the Grinch, as well the action-packed classic Robin Hood. All that and more next on Urban Nights Update.
Wow. Hi there, thanks for joining us here at Academy of Art University's Urban Nights Update. Din One is here sitting with me. I'm Gonzo Rios, and here's what's going on. At Google offices around the world, employees gathered to protest companies handling the sexual harassment allegations against some of the key executives. Googlers from Tokyo to San Francisco left their desks to chant, hold up signs, and listen to their coworkers share their personal experience. Some analysts say the success of the walkout could inspire workers at other tech companies.
Nathan Butler is a 25-year-old man quitting his job and living with his mother to train as an emergency medical technician. 10 years after the recessions, men from 25 to 30 years old are lagging in the workforce, more than any other age and gender demographic. Many say they are in training while others report disability. Butler, for one, hopes his training will be a first step toward a healthcare career so he can provide security for his children.
More and more U.S. university students are being diagnosed with mental health conditions. But good news is, those students are seeking more and more help according to the studies. 450,000 students across 452 institutions between 2009 and 2015 were found to show signs or were treated for anxiety, ADHD, depression, insomnia, OCD, and panic attacks. Lead researcher Sarah Oswald for University of Texas San Antonio finds that attitudes of mental health conditions are changing.
For the past month in the Bay Area, Marriott hotel employees have been on strike demanding higher wages. One coalition recently got a win for a worker. The Oakland Marriott City Center workers reached an agreement with Marriott and has ended their strike. This gives hope to the rest of the Bay Area Marriott employees that a pay raise is on the way.
Imagine being raised in a foreign country during a time of civil war. Stefan Miele gives us an insight into his life during the Balkan Civil War.
Growing up in Serbia was very tough because we had to face bombing from side of NATO forces. We had to face inflation, and we had to face bad economical situation in our country. So it was really tough experience for me, my parents, and for my country.
Our mission is clear: to demonstrate the seriousness of NATO's purpose, so that the Serbian leaders understand the imperative of reversing course.
I remember my father used to wait in line to get bread and milk and some normal supplies that will allow us to at least not be hungry, and that all infected us on certain ways. We weren't able to go out of the house after 7 p.m. because we were afraid we were going to get bombed again by NATO. So people were frightened, and I remember each street had one big basement where all of people come in there and be safe. After a couple of years, the situation in the country became better in Serbia. My father managed to get one job and to work for us, to get normal food and to get normal supplies that will allow us to live. All of that made my character stronger, and I was able to come to San Francisco all the way from Serbia because of diligence, hard work, and persistence. I never gave up, and now I'm here currently enjoying in San Francisco and doing what I love.
They say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, but from recent studies by Environment Working Group says different. Glyphosate was recently found in 26 out of 28 General Mills and Quaker products. Quaker made a statement saying that they keep a safe level of glyphosate in their products, but Sean from recent tests says different. So just be aware of some ingredients used in your food.
Bon appetit! A new study shows that if you eat pasta, it won't make you gain weight. Canadian researchers at St. Michael's Hospital concluded that if you eat pasta 3 times a week instead of other carbs, it won't change your weight gain. So pass the spaghetti, because the study even showed a small percentage of people lost weight. Choosing a diet can be tricky. Al Morris shows us 2 of the most important diets to choose from.
These are the types of food we should be eating. But unfortunately for some of us, we reach for the wrong food and eat that junk. And then we're looking for diet solutions to try to help us lose those lbs. When looking for that perfect diet, it's always hard to pick. So I took a look at 2 diets for you: liquid diet and meal prepping. And then I went to 24 Hour Fitness and found an expert to tell me which one you think is better.
Liquid diet, but it's a doctor prescribed diet, so you don't get to go on this unless you're get a prescription from your doctor. I'm gonna hopefully lose 60 pounds, so I'll get down to 200, maybe a little less, we'll see. So if you're interested in losing weight very quickly, this diet is very good. It's not cheap, but it works. No matter what, it works.
So Rob's diet is the liquid diet, and all he does is drink protein shakes all day long, no other foods. He's been on it for 2 months and he's already lost 20 pounds. Next, I'm gonna check in with Enrique, who has his own diet plan.
I have been doing meal prep now for about 2.5 months, and I started that because I needed to lose weight, and it's actually helped me lose about 20 pounds. So basically when I meal prep, what I try to do is for my protein, in this case I've chosen some organic chicken. I want to use basically what's going to fit about in the palm of my hand. And then for my vegetable, I've chosen some asparagus here. I want to have about a fistful. That should be about right. And then you have a starch here. Whatever starch you choose, just be sure to also have about this equivalent of a fist. And then for your fat content, I've chosen some almonds here, but basically you don't want to have any more than about your thumb size there.
Enrique has been on the diet for 2 months and he's lost a total of 20 pounds. Next, I went to 24 Hour Fitness to find out what diet is actually better to use.
What the shakes is, it's more like a quick fix, but the meal prep is more of a lifestyle change. It's going to be something you do, could be for the rest of your life.
There you have it. 2 diets, 1 lifestyle change. In San Francisco, I'm Alvaro Mora for Urban Nights Update.
Fortnite is getting a new look. The NFL is collaborating with the hot new game. Players will be able to choose any team they would like and customize the number. There will also be a football-themed emote, harvesting tools, and gliders, as well as referee outfits. All these new updates will be available for both male and female avatars and will be available to purchase them on Friday, the 9th of November.
Drones are taking over the world. Every day, thousands of these small aircrafts are sold all over America. The problem is, do buyers actually know that there are serious rules to follow? Victor Ruiz gives us more insights on the flying rules.
People keep trying new technology to get the most amazing visuals that the eye can catch. Because of that, the drone industry is getting bigger and bigger. The potential of this tech is unbelievable. Instead of spending hundreds of dollars on helicopter rides, you can get your hands on this type of footage by spending $400 on a drone. However, not so many people use them the right way. The pilot that took this footage not only was putting in danger the life of all passengers on this plane, he could have faced jail for flying above 400 feet. Professional and certified drone pilot and filmmaker Bertie Benaveste led me access to his rooftop and shared with me some safety advice to follow when flying a drone.
So drones have become commonplace nowadays. Prices have fallen, interest has increased, and people are quite keen about what drones can capture. You can in fact capture 4K video and 20 megapixels photographs with the new DJI products that came out.
But with great power also comes great responsibilities.
Be aware of where you fly. make sure you check the rules. Go, and if you're not sure of anything, go search online, go look at forums, ask questions, because it could be dangerous. You could hurt yourself, you could hurt the public. You want to make sure you actually learn how to fly them in open and clear areas where you don't have too many people.
Research say that more than 800,000 drones are sold each year in the USA, but how many customers know that there are rules to follow?
Yeah, so I wasn't actually aware of the security standards that they have on the drones. I actually have a couple of buddies that own them, and they fly them wherever. So I kind of thought that was what you could do. So I'm pretty serious about buying one, so I think it's probably best if I look into it, knowing now that there's standards and rules that you have to follow.
So in case you're thinking on getting a drone, be responsible and fly safe. In San Francisco, I am Victor Ruiz de Carranza.
Due to lack of accessibility to basic facilities and services, dirty and smelly streets are a major issue in San Francisco, and I have a chance to look at the issues. Streets are dirtier and there are more human feces than ever due to the increasing in homelessness. Human feces have increased more than 400% and there have been thousands of calls in just 2018 to report poop.
Lately, I've been seeing less homeless people on the street of San Francisco. So I remember back then when I had late classes or I'm running late to something, I always have to have a friend or I have to video call someone in order for me to feel safe whenever I'm at night on my own on the street. Going home late from class or from work is a lot more safer. This is not because homeless doesn't know what a bathroom is, but to fail the city to not provide enough facilities to them.
The homeless or lack of accessibility to the restroom due to the restrictions of many businesses. They don't want their facilities to be frequented by homeless. However, it is obvious that they have nowhere to go and they will poop on the streets.
I don't think there are enough homeless facilities, but there are still a lot of homeless around in the streets. And it's becoming a problem because it can scare pedestrian walking at night. And also, it's not fair that they don't have a place to stay and people should provide them a place to stay.
They have launched a poop patrol to make sure that the sidewalks are clean. However, this is what happens when you can't afford in this least affordable city. San Francisco is putting more money on homelessness to improve and help homeless. I'm Yin in San Francisco for Urban Nights Update. Homelessness has been an issue in San Francisco for many years. The city hopes to solve the homeless problem soon.
Tony Page, a very courageous man, is for still going to the polls and making sure his vote counted, even though he has been homeless for months now. Page says that the most people up and don't think they have a voice, even though he didn't have a home. He was supported by a group called the Skywatchers, a local performing arts group that marched down City Hall with Page to make sure their votes counted.
Staying on the voting topic, we are going to head over to our roundtable with Cole Morgan, who has more on that issue.
Well, thank you guys. I'm Cole Morgan. I'm here with Andy Choi, Mark Ackerman, and Angel Mora. We're here to talk about voting and the effects it has on us, especially the millennial age. We're going to discuss on how, if we think it affects us, the right, is it biased? Is there some political views that aren't right? So, guys, what do you think, especially voting day? What are we thinking?
For me personally, I'm kind of the minority. I don't vote. And the big reason for me personally, especially, and not just I live in California, obviously, so it's a blue state.
Yeah.
So even regardless of what side I'm on, I feel like my vote isn't going to matter because it's already decided. So California is going to be blue, Texas is going to be red. It's always, those states always seem to be Republican.
But do you think because we're there's so many millennials that even if we change it, do you think that even if we all vote red, that it will change California, even if it is a blue state?
I just think the millennial age is definitely more Democrat. I don't know why they didn't vote. I think the midterm elections now, you're going to see a lot more millennial output because of how many people, you see Snapchat, you see all these different platforms trying to get people to register to vote simply because of what just happened in the last election.
Yeah.
I really think that the millennial vote is what people are trying to get.
Bouncing off that, I feel like ever since Trump has been elected president, I feel like the millennials, the younger age, and like with the social media, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, saying like, oh, come register to vote, because I feel like the younger audience will have like a bigger voice later on in the future, talking about how it'll affect them obviously, because how the controversial of Trump being president and all that.
Do you think, especially for the millennials, that they base off their opinions off what Twitter and social media says, or do they actually, where they're raised from, or how they view, or do they just base it off what social media says?
I feel like it's just based off social media says, especially how our president tweets out a lot on social media. So that
yeah, the biggest thing I think that we saw from the 2016 election was if you were on Twitter or Facebook, anywhere on these social media platforms, you would have thought that Trump had no chance, right? Because everything that you saw, but the thing was, people didn't go out and vote. So I think that's the biggest thing that people are trying to in these elections. It's like, okay, yeah, these people have a certain voice, they have a certain opinion, but they aren't exercising that right, and that's the biggest issue.
I think, like you pointed out earlier, this whole social media thing, a lot of people, like especially millennials, are getting their news off of Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat. So I think it's hard to tell because the information that you get online, it's not they don't always, you know, I know that the news companies, they usually have an agenda they want to input their political views on. Yeah. So I think it really, even though they go out and vote, it's really tough because the sides they've been separated already, and it's just the fact that you have to choose one or the other instead of having to have both of the views.
Well, I mean, for people nowadays, I think basing off, especially on Twitter, there's a lot of fake news. So how would millennials change the difference between, or understand the difference between fake news and actual like reality of like Trump doing or actually not doing? How do they tell the difference?
I think they just gotta do their own research. I think that's the biggest problem is people don't want to form their own opinions. They don't want to do the necessary work. They're like, oh, well, so and so thinks that, so I'm just going to do that because that's like the popular thing to do instead of actually looking and forming their own opinion.
Well, I mean, that's, you know, voting, it's going to happen. We're in a democracy, so that's how we're going to do things around here. That's all we have. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm Cole Morgan. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Cole, for lively conversations on voting. Talking about voting, did you register to vote? That is the question of the week.
With the election season upon us, and with the message of all votes counts, and with the records of the youth voting at its highest, we're going to hit the streets to see who's registered to vote and what's their plan when polls open on November 6th.
I registered to vote. I'm voting today. All voting matters.
Register to vote. Get out there and vote. Okay, yes, I'm registered to vote. All votes matter. Get out and vote.
We see that people are up in arms, gearing up to attack the polls. I'm not surprised at all, seeing Generation Z is ready to vote. They will be the key to turning the tides of the next president.
Mookie Betts was undoubtedly one of the best players in major leagues this season, but we also found out that his greatness continues off the diamond as well. Betts was seen giving out food to the homeless outside of Boston Library just after he helped the Red Sox command to a 2-0 lead in the past World Series. Lou Merloni stated that Mookie did not seek attention, but he definitely deserves it for his kind heart. One of the greatest left-handed power hitters of all time and beloved member of the San Francisco Giants family, Willie McCovey, passed away on Wednesday. Nicknamed Stretch because of his 6'4" frame, McCovey hit a total of 521 career home runs, 20th of all time, and is one of only 4 players in baseball history to homer in 4 different decades. He was 80 years old.
As we say goodbye to some of our favorite RU sport teams as the season comes to an end, we say hello to start of season for others. We go to Almora with your sports update.
That's right. As the season comes to an end, some of our favorite sports are gone. We welcome some new ones. But before we do that, let's check out some volleyball action. We head out to Kezar as our Knights take on Holy Names. Here you see Sadie Emery set up fellow sophomore Ashley Pollock for the devastating spike. This was no trick but a treat on Halloween as the Urban Knights defeated Holy Names 3-2. This was AAU's first win of the season in the Pac West. After this big win, the team faced Fresno, where they honored 3 of their seniors. Lindsay Milner, Alana Lucas, and Safua Alicia. The Knights went on to face Fresno Pacific, and besides a great effort by Jillian Wheaton, the Knights lost 3-0. With only 3 matches left in the season, they look to build on that first win. Changing gears now, we head over to the soccer field as the women's soccer team try to close their historical season with a big win. They are looking to finish with a winning record, and they were taking on a familiar foe, Notre Dame de Mur, who they defeated earlier in the year, 1-0. This was a big moment in the game, a big goal by Christensen, but unfortunately for RU, this was the only goal, and the Knights dropped their final game of the season, finishing with a best AAU record of 8-8-2. We do have to say goodbye to 6 seniors that led this team to greatness. For the men's soccer team, it was their senior day too, and they lost 4 outstanding players as they took on Notre Dame de Namur. They played 68 scoreless minutes, but they ended up coming up short 1-0. Aloha! Our golf team is enjoying island life at the Dennis Road Invitational at Waikola Kings Gold Course. Gabriel de Leon Manac led the Knights, shooting 74, 2 over. The team finished 8th. After this performance, the Knights are looking forward to their spring season. Cross-country team was in the Pac West Championships in Fresno. It was a great start and finish for the men, as Freddie Hussein led RU to a 2nd place finish, and the women also held their own, as Haska Kanakur powered the women to the 4th place. As we say goodbye to these sports, we say hello to basketball. This is your women's basketball team. They are led and coached by Camille Williams. The coach was giving the ladies a pregame speech as they took on D1 school Santa Clara Broncos. RU hung in there early, but the Broncos pulled away and beat the Knights 74-53 in this preseason showdown. As for your men's basketball team, they're coming off their most successful season in the program's history. Coach Julius Barnes looks to start off where they left off. On November 9th, the Knights head to San Francisco State to take on the Gators in the Tip-Off Classic. That's it for sports. This is Al Mora, and now back to the studio.
16-year-old Alec Bowen was charged with assault and harassment on the night of November 2nd over a parking spot. The incident occurred in the New York neighborhood of Greenwich Village and resulted in a court date for Bowen. Bowen commented on the situation through Twitter, saying, "The assertions that I punched anyone over a parking spot is false." Now, here is Josh Collin with the latest for entertainment.
Hello everyone, my name is Josh Carlin and welcome back to the weekly entertainment segment. I'll be guiding you through the movies hitting the theaters soon, so sit back and enjoy. Now that it's November, we are switching gears for Christmas. First up, The Grinch. For their 8th fully animated feature, Illumination and Universal Pictures present The Grinch. Based on Dr. Seuss's beloved holiday classic, The Grinch tells the story of a cynical grump who goes on a mission to steal Christmas, only to have his heart changed by a young girl's generous holiday spirit.
Merry Christmas to you!
You're a mean one, mister.
I know what to do. I'm going to steal their Christmas. You really are a he. Behold, the cookie. This is our enemy. No, no, no. We must resist.
Who is this mean fellow with his skin all green and his teeth all yellow? You're a mean one.
Funny, heartwarming, and visually stunning. You don't want to miss it. This movie is in theaters today. Next up, staying on the animation and kids movies, is Ralph Breaks the Internet. The Sugar Rush arcade cabinet has broken, forcing Ralph and Vanellope to travel the internet via the newly installed Wi-Fi router in Litwalk's arcade. To retrieve the piece capable of saving the game, Ralph and Vanellope must risk it all by traveling to the World Wide Web in search of a replacement part to save Vanellope's video game Sugar Rush.
3, 2, 1, go! Way to go, kid.
1 second, I'm having the time of my life. The next thing I know, my game is just gone.
Hello, let me tell you what it's like. Sugar Rush is getting unplugged.
Oh no, I'm freaking out hard.
All we gotta do is find a part to fix your game. Everything goes back to the way it was.
But where are we gonna find that?
The internet.
What?
Do you think they will save the game? Watch Ralph Breaks the Internet on November 21st to find out. The final movie we have for you is for the action movie fans, Robin Hood, a war-hardened crusader starring Taron Egerton and his Moorish commander starring Jamie Foxx, mounting an audacious revolt against the corrupt English crown in a thrilling action-adventure packed with gritty battlefield exploits, mind-blowing fight, choreography, and a timeless romance.
This is the story of a thief. You wanted to steal. Now's your time. He stole from the rich and gave to the poor.
What else you got?
I call him Robin Hood.
It's got a nice ring to it, don't you think?
This movie will be hitting theaters on November 21st. Well, that's all we have time for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Josh, for the latest in entertainment. Next is a surprise tying back to our previous video about Serbia, as well as other funny topics. Here's the Urban Nights special segment.
Welcome everybody to another week's special segment. This week we have a really special segment. It's called Question and Answer. And me and Steph will be going around the city asking people some crazy questions.
Would you rather live in Serbia or America?
America. That's why I live in America.
Would you rather live in Serbia or America?
American.
Would you rather live in Serbia or America?
Well, I don't know a whole lot about Serbia, but living here.
It's okay. It's Serbia's in Europe.
Yes. I mean, where would I rather live? I guess where I am, because otherwise I'd be somewhere else.
I'm trying to get somewhere right now, so I can't. I'm sorry. Like I just left to go to my friend.
Who do you prefer more, Beyonce or Rihanna?
Probably. It depends.
Who do you think has better booty?
Okay, no, I'm a better way.
Better booty.
Booty. I don't know. I would probably go with Rihanna.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
What?
Because Beyonce is just overrated.
Right? Who do you prefer more, Beyonce or Rihanna?
Rihanna.
Who do you think has like better booty?
To tell you the truth, I can't even picture either one of their rears right now in my head. But I'd lean towards Rihanna for no reason in particular, I guess.
Well, that wraps this edition of Urban Nights Update.
For everyone here, thanks for joining us. I'm Yin Hun.
And I'm Gonzo Rios. We'll see you back next time.